Hey, what's a spider's New Year's resolution? To spend less time on the web.
Oh, welcome to Brothers Know Best, episode 8. I think it's episode 8. We haven't recorded in so long. I don't even know what episode number it is, but we are here in the year of our Lord 2025. All three of us are alive and well. Even after spending the holidays together, we still like each other magically somehow. Welcome back, boys. How was the holidays? How was the break? How have things been?
Super good for me. Hauled my family of 5 across the country, spent some time with you guys. And, I'm still not recovered, though, from the jet lag. Like, I'm not that old, but I feel ancient every time I come back from the East Coast. I'm still not sleeping good. I was up at 4 this morning, but nobody cares about that.
Bro, I saw what you ate while you were here. I don't know that it was jet lag. Let's just be real. That holiday diet you were on, I don't know, man.
Michael needs a cleanse. That's what he needs.
We went to dinner, okay? Us three and our wives went to dinner, and for the first time in my life, they bring a dessert menu, and Michael Smith says, "Can you bring us one of everything on the dessert menu?" Like literally.
No, my friend. It wasn't the first time in your life. It was also the first time in the server's life. She said no one has ever done that before.
That sweet server was like, "You want one of everything on the dessert menu?" She was like, "Oh, no one's ever done that before."
Listen, my ideal restaurant. Yeah, I have an Instagram account that I've never posted to, but I've thought about it for years. It's called Lots of Small Plates. Because my ideal restaurant would bring you 2 bites of everything. That's what I want. I wanted a sample. I just want a little bit.
Yeah, you know what happened? Take Michael, let Michael take you to a new restaurant he's never been to, and you'll try everything.
Oh,
He'll say,
try
"Bring
everything.
me this, bring me that." He's table watching. I want some of that over there. This sounds good.
Hey, and let me tell you something. Let me tell you another something. It won't be small plates. But you know what? That doesn't matter because those desserts were full-size desserts.
Yeah, they were.
And they were all gone.
And guys, we butchered them. We demolished. Look, the Smith boys, you know the saying, "I'm not as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was." That night, boys, we put it away like years gone by.
We showed
put
up.
it away.
We showed up.
And the scale showed it. So Michael, all that to say, yes, it's the jet lag for sure.
Listen, and true story, if I'm honest, my wife had to listen to me all the way home on the plane lamenting the fact that we didn't go to a Mexican soul food restaurant, that we didn't go to Cracker Barrel, that we didn't swing by Buc-ee's. Like, I still didn't get
we didn't go for the world tour. What happened?
We didn't do the world tour. I did get that Bojangles country ham biscuit, though.
Bojangles country ham biscuit. Listen, I defy someone to tell me a better fast food biscuit than Bojangles.
The only thing better than a Bojangles country ham biscuit is a Bojangles country ham biscuit with extra country ham. That's the only way I get it.
That's another thing. Okay. So not only we go to dinner, we order literally every dessert on the menu. So they bring out like 6 giant desserts and we eat them all because all of you and your family stayed at my house. The next day, we wake up, we're all together. We go through Bojangles to get breakfast for the kids. Daniel Smith orders, "Can I get a country ham biscuit with extra country ham?" I mean, this man is like, "Yeah, I know I just literally ate enough calories and just on that dessert, not including the meal last night, to feed a small third world country. But now can you please just like give me all the ham. Give me an entire pig."
Look, hey, you're leaving out the important part of we had just come off Kennesaw Mountain.
That's right.
Well,
so mine was depleted. My body was hurting, and it wasn't my legs. It was my belly.
He burned calories at an efficient rate. My man needed some more calories.
That's true. Well, yeah, we did spend the holidays together. What were some of the highlights now that we've talked about all the food? Because clearly that's you look at us and you know that has to be a highlight. What else were highlights?
The highlight, it wasn't how much I slept because that was not That's why truly I'm still recovering. But Kennesaw Mountain was a highlight for me. I've never done the hike up Kennesaw Mountain overlooking Atlanta. It was beautiful. If you live in that area, get after it. It was great.
You can go on our Twitter or Instagram. We have a picture of us actually on the top of Kennesaw Mountain, foggy Kennesaw Mountain.
Foggy.
Yeah, really enjoyed that. Really enjoyed that with y'all for sure.
There were no scenic views, so it was strictly just for the brotherhood, the bonding, and the exercise. Because there was nothing to see up there except for a couple of cannons.
It was also, hey, don't knock the 4-gun artillery.
My heart's with the 2-gun artillery.
Well, there was, but I will say, I enjoyed it because for once in my life, I was out ahead of you boys for most of the journey up. That felt pretty good.
We didn't know where we were going.
Yeah.
We were on a paved road, but we didn't know where we were going.
Literally on a trail that's like there's only one way to go, but you didn't know where you were going. Also, until just now, I don't think you knew you were in a race, but I did the entire time. I was like, "Yep, I'm going to be the first one to get to that top."
Hold on, nobody said.
Then I'm going to tell them 2 weeks later. I enjoyed it because I beat you guys to the top.
Look, that is typical brother fashion because like you're walking to the car after you're coming out of Walmart and all of a sudden you take 2 steps ahead of the brother and you're like, I beat you there. Like, I'm going to win. Yeah, it's like, I didn't know we were racing. Okay. Nobody said go.
The key to winning races and arguments is to not let the other person that they're in a race or an argument until you have essentially already won.
Element of surprise.
One last highlight from Georgia, and this might be a good transition. I think it was in the week that I was in Georgia, the University of Georgia Bulldogs did not play football. And that was, in retrospect, that was a real highlight.
That really was.
Boy, yeah. I honestly didn't want to talk about sports on this episode, but we kind of talk about sports on every episode, so we have to do it. Boy, Georgia, man. Got beat by Notre Dame. Looked absolutely abysmal on the offensive side of the ball, getting beat by Notre Dame. And, I just think the only solution for Georgia is to fire everybody, cut all the players, burn the program down, rebuild it. I mean, let's forget that Georgia won the SEC championship with the toughest schedule they've ever had in history, with a quarterback who was playing terrible most of the year and with a ton of injuries. Still, burn it down. Pathetic showing.
It's been real, guys. Burn it down. Start it
real. No, Georgia did get beat by Notre Dame. Shout out to Notre Dame. Notre Dame finally won a game of consequence.
Hey, Prep Dog, if you're watching, we're just kidding. We are diehards. Nobody really on this podcast believes. We got to be mad respect to Prep Dog. Keep the positivity.
Win, lose, or tie. It's Georgia till I die. Dog born, dog bred. When I die, I'll be dog dead. But it does feel like you're kind of dog dead when you lose a game like that you just had so many aspirations that you were going to win. And, a couple of us also had maybe a bet or two on Georgia winning.
Nobody here.
Which makes it a little bit tougher. But I will say this, in all the chaos, I want to be serious too. Like, shout out, Kirby Smart, man. The guy, there was a terrorist attack in New Orleans.
Yep.
The game gets delayed. You have to fight through all that. His dad on New Year's Eve, before the terror attack happened, his dad had fallen and broke his hip. So his dad is in the hospital. While his dad's in the hospital, a terror attack happens. You wake up, you're trying to get a team ready to play. Then you realize you're not going to play. Then his dad, just so tragic. His dad ends up passing away after complications from an emergency hip replacement from the fall. Yeah. And so not only do you lose the game, then you have to turn around and deal with all that all week. And then you have to turn around and you lose your dad, and you got to, bury your dad very unexpectedly. So in all seriousness, we joke a lot about Georgia football and, good, bad, and different, but man, Kirby Smart, my heart goes out to that guy, to his family, to his brother and his sister, to his mom, I mean, his kids lost their granddad. Just a tragic thing to deal with in all of that. But man, that dude, Kirby Smart, man, is a leader. I mean, that's a guy who is going through one of the most tragic things that he's had to deal with. And he's there at the Georgia basketball game last night with his wife and his son, and he's shaking hands. And he's, I think people like that are wired to,
they're built for
it. You're built for it. And if anybody's built to go through all of that, it's definitely Kirby Smart. But shout out to him. Thoughts and prayers to his family for sure. We want to kick off the new year with introducing a segment that we were going to be calling Mic Drop. I don't know if y'all know this about Michael Smith, but Michael Smith likes to go on some monologues, some diatribes. And Michael has had some opinions about New Year's resolutions, specifically this idea of mottos versus resolutions. There's like people picking words, all kinds of things that people do to start the year. So we're going to turn it over to Michael for Mic Drop.
Sometimes I like to rant.
Michael, let's start the year talking about New Year's resolutions.
Yeah. Throw them right in this little trash can I have by my feet. As far as I'm concerned, no, sometimes I like to rant. This is less of a rant and more just like something I've learned about myself. You might be a resolution person if you're watching. You may be able to start the year and say, I'm going to achieve this goal and I'm going to set measurable objectives and I'm going to do this by the end of April and this by the end of June. But that is absolute garbage for me. It's just a recipe for failure or just, surrender. By the end of January, I'm done. So I say years ago, a friend of mine told me, you don't need a resolution. What you need is just some kind of like guiding principle for the year. Like, what's a theme for your year? I call it a motto for the year, but just some simple, memorable idea that you can go back to throughout the year that is broadly applicable. So, for example, a couple of years ago, my motto for the year was write it down. And it was simply, I realized I needed to be better at remembering things, getting things done, or I wanted to like share gratitude to people. And it was like, I never remember to say these things, but if I write it down, if I write somebody a little note, or if I write down the list of things that I need to do, I'm much more likely to get it done. So it was write it down all year. Yep. A year after that, my motto was, a year from now, you'll wish you had started today. Mm. And that's applicable for anything you want to accomplish. You want to lose weight, you want to save money, you want to get better at something. Well, guess what? A year from now, you'll wish you had started today. And so that just helped me kind of jumpstart new things that I wanted to do in my life. So I proposed the motto approach to, revamping your life a little bit through the year. And so this year, my motto is something that I want to prioritize and I think is applicable in every area of life. And it's this: life is happening now. Life is happening now. That's my motto. I'm going to just come back to that over and over throughout the year. And then there's a maybe a parenthesis. Life is happening now, and it's probably not on the internet. Just a reminder for me, like, put down the phone. I've got a 13-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 4-year-old, and they're involved in all kinds of things, gymnastics and baseball and basketball and school plays and musicals. And it's like, I want to be there. I want to. So I just want to remind myself when I'm lost in that phone, life's happening now, and it's probably not on the internet. Get rid of it and enjoy the life in front of you. So there you go.
I love it.
I love it.
I'll piggyback off of that a little bit, because did you know that the second Friday in January is known as Quitter's Day? And that is the day that most resolutions just fail. So you're 10, 14, maybe 12 days into the year and they already throw it out. So, I mean, like less than 10%, I think, of people who actually make resolutions keep those resolutions. So yeah, the resolution thing, I think it's just something fun we do. Nobody's serious. If you are serious, I'd love to hear your story. Some people do make a change. Some people have to make a change. I think that's where the resolution comes in, but mine is kind of the same. because my my work schedule, I'm gone a lot, definitely more than I want to be, and sometimes more than I should be. So when we're at basketball or softball or chorus concerts or whatever we're doing, just be, or if we're just at home watching a movie, cooking supper, doing whatever, just be present. Because I tell my kids, I said my favorite thing about you hitting that home run or being involved in this play or whatever, my favorite part of it, because a kid wants to know, Dad, what was your favorite part? What'd you enjoy the most? And if you ask my kids if they remember, if they're really thinking, they'll say that my answer it would be, my favorite part is I got to be there to see it. So be there, just being present, being what we talked about, being in the moment. When I go to a Georgia game, when I go, whatever I'm doing, I'm in the moment. I'm literally just in the moment. Like I'm not throwing everything else out, but just being present, like absorbing what's going on around me and enjoying it. And being there. So
yeah,
love it.
I love the idea of mottos versus resolutions, because I feel like resolutions, it just amplifies like something that you feel like is wrong in your life. You're starting the year off in a mindset of like, these are the things that need to be fixed, which inherently is like, these are the things that I don't like about my life. And so I think resolutions, I think the reason that people give up on them, number one, is because sometimes they're unrealistic, right? If you haven't gone to the gym all year and all of a sudden you're like, I'm going to the gym every day, I think sometimes it's unrealistic, but I think most of the time it's genuinely, you're just magnifying something that's more negative in your life. And I think when you do that, you're not attached to it in a way that's like optimistic, positive, etc. So I think for me, that's why I don't make resolutions, but I love the idea of mottos. I hadn't really done mottos. I know, some folks in my family had done words of the year that seemed to really help, like one word. But I hadn't really done any of that. And I think for me this year, as we were talking about this before the show, my motto this year is just going to be simplify to magnify. There's so much going on in life. There's so many things that you have to do as a human being, whether you're a mom, a dad, in a relationship, not in a relationship, your employment, just your day-to-day life. There's so much. And then I think what ends up happening, if you're someone like me or like us, who we have a lot of interests, we chase a lot of things, I think you just end up piling on things that just kind of layer on it, right? So it's kind of like my pastor at church talked about this idea of those old school overhead projectors. The ones that we used to have, if you're of a certain age, that used to have in the classroom that would sit on a desk and it had like the light that would, the arm. Yeah. So they had those things, those clear transparencies, right?
Yep. And Mr. Hagerstrand at Model Middle School would clean his transparencies with what, John? Diet Coke. Diet Coke is the answer.
I almost said Dr. Pepper. Diet Coke is the right answer. I knew it was a soda.
You didn't see Mr. Hagerstrand making this podcast.
No, Mr. Hagerstrand. Shout out Mr. Hagerstrand. But no, those overhead projectors. But what our pastor said is like, yeah, if you have, if you lay down a transparency and you dial in the projector, like you see it, it's clear. If you lay another one on top of it, all of a sudden it becomes less clear. You lay another one on top of it, it becomes less clear. You lay another one, and eventually you have this whole stack. And you can't make out anything. Yep. But all of those individually, right, are very clear. So for me, it's more about simplifying the things that you layer on top of your life. I'm trying to eliminate some of those and just simplify to magnify and have a little bit more clarity.
I love that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good year. I think 2025 is going to be our best year yet. I'll guarantee you this. 2025 will be the best year for Brothers Know Best. For the Brothers Know Best podcast
ever.
The best entire year
ever.
So the best 12 months of the show are ahead this year.
That's a bold prediction.
All right. So obviously a lot of what we just talked about, and this is I'm referring to this as our New Year's special, even though we're a few days into the year, but a lot of what we talked about, is very philosophical. You got to move it to practical, right? Like, I mean, what does this mean for your life? So, Michael, what's one small change that you're wanting to make this year?
Yeah. So yeah, good call out. The motto is kind of my North Star, but obviously there might just be tactical, practical things that you just like, also, I want to do this more. May not be a resolution. It's not for me, but it is something that I have done periodically through my life, and I feel like it's a moment to do it again. And so my change, if I were going to recommend one small tweak to your life to improve it, it would be go for a walk. Especially if you work a desk job like me, like I just sit at this desk all day, and then you know what I want to do at 5 o'clock or 5:30? I want to walk out that door and go sit on the couch.
Walk it
And
out. Walk it off, walk it out, or walk it off.
So a few years ago, y'all know I got a dog. We've talked about Maddox on the show. Maddox keeps me moving, but often that walk with him is more of a chore than a joy. And so I am lately, like yesterday, I went for a walk and it was like 40 degrees here, but that brisk cold air hitting me and being out in the sunshine for a minute was just like, oh, I need this. So just go for a walk.
Yeah, we were
one word. Oh, sorry. I'm going.
Oh no, go for it, Dana.
My one word or my one motto or kind of, if you really want to simplify, it's just relax. And I don't mean relax like lay around and be lazy. I'm talking about mentally. And know when your body needs to rest. Know when your mind needs to rest. Don't get bent out of shape. The biggest thing I think with people in general is
Daniel. You don't get bent out of shape.
No, never, dude.
I have never seen you get bent out of shape. Okay,
listen, guys,
so you're talking. You got to be talking to other people.
I am so easygoing. I'm so agreeable. It's out. It's. I mean, I think the only person more. But I'm not going to say that. But just relax. Learn when to relax. Learn when to things out of your control. Let it go. Don't. What are you stressing about? I work in emergency services also. Sometimes there's things out of your control. Like you have to learn when to just like hit the button, relax, chill, be done with it.
Y'all, this is a man who saves lives for a living telling you to relax.
Yeah.
So for what it's worth, that seems to be pretty important.
Can we clip this up though? So that I can have it on my phone. So the next time we watch a Georgia game together.
Nope.
I'm totally clipping. Don't get bent out of shape. And I'm making that my ringtone when Daniel calls. Every time Daniel calls. Perfect. Don't get bent out of shape. Don't get bent out of shape. When I pick it up and he's yelling into the phone about something.
Yeah.
No, okay.
Arian Smith.
I'm kidding. No, mine, y'all. I'm a 75-year-old man on the inside. Okay, I admit it. It is what it is.
Almost on the outside.
Well, almost on the outside. Yeah. But and this is going to be a 75-year-old man on the inside. Small change, but man, I need to stretch more. And I have learned, through reading and I used to play a bunch of sports, all those things, and I know foundationally the importance of stretching, but man, the difference that I feel throughout the day when I just stretch, literally just take 15 minutes or 10 minutes to stretch in the morning, stretch in the middle of the day, like to Michael's point, get up and go for a walk, but stretch before and after the walk. Just stretching, I think, is like really, it just makes such a big difference for me. And so that's one small change that I want to make this year. And hopefully, if I stretch enough, it will be impossible for me to get bent out of shape.
Bro, I am not going to sit here. I'm not going to sit here and be personally attacked. Okay. This is supposed to be just general advice for people to improve their lives. But I saw you look at me and direct those words like, you don't know me. Don't tell me to stretch.
Yeah. I was talking to you for sure because I saw you walking up that mountain. I was like, man, this dude's glutes are freaking
I also felt somewhat attacked personally because a few years ago, I think I pulled a neck muscle while drinking a bottle of water. And I realized I should probably also stretch more.
Dude, when you are at the age where you're getting injured because you drank water too hard,
Yeah.
You need to stretch. And I think that's where we are in life. We are those dudes that now, like, we're going to injure ourselves drinking water too hard.
That segment just went from friendly advice to full on meddling in my life. And
well, hey, it's better to meddle than to diddle. No diddling. All right. Okay. So now, I mean, we talked about us and we talked about each other, but let's get together, boys. Let's get together.
That's okay. Let me scrap all that. My 2025 motto is less diddling.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Oh, cut. Oh, God. Okay.
Name one word you wish you had never uttered on this podcast. What could it be for me? Oh my God.
In case you're new to the podcast, you can go back and check some YouTube shorts or go back and check some of the earlier episodes to hear Michael talking about a football player diddling on the sideline. I do not recommend looking up diddling.
It means to waste time aimlessly. Waste time aimlessly.
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
what we're going with.
Absolutely.
Yeah, less diddling. Yeah.
Love it.
It works.
All right. We talked about ourselves. Okay. So it's only right, because it's a new year, that we get to talk about other people. And right? I mean, we would not be we want to be authentic on this podcast, and we spend a lot more time talking about what we wish other people would change than what we wish ourselves would change. So what's a change that you want someone else to make this year? Who is it, and what do you want them to change?
Okay. I wish that my wife would relax more. Just chill, baby. It's okay. Everything's going to be fine. Just chill. Nah, she's not. She's really not uptight most of the time. But
Daniel, blink twice if you need me to edit that out.
How many times can I flutter my eyelids right here? No, don't edit that out. She's fine with it. We'll do it live.
Okay.
We're off the rails. This is awful.
We are off the rails.
Okay, I got one. Okay. All right. If I could give somebody else a New Year's resolution or some friendly advice for improving their life and mine, I would say, Alex Anthopoulos, please learn that, yes, it's important that you reserve some cash and you manage the payroll for the Atlanta Braves, but also we like some of these players a lot. Some of us buy the jerseys and we want to wear our Max Fried jersey for years to come. We want to still be able to wear our Freddie Freeman jersey or our Dansby Swanson jersey. My gosh, pay some players and keep them. It's not always an automatic win because you locked somebody up for 10 years on the cheap. Yeah, it's great when you can do that with an Acuna. But, man, can you just hang on to Max Fried for a couple more years?
I never got to wear my Max Fried jersey to a game. I'm so disappointed.
Well, you know, the thing with Alex Anthopoulos is he don't care.
He does not care.
So I wish
screaming into the void over
yes.
I'll tell you who else does not care. I don't think Arthur Blank cares.
God, the Falcons.
I don't think he cares.
You know, one small change I wish the Falcons would make this year: move to a different city. So I don't have to root for you anymore.
Move out.
Just move out.
Just go.
Doesn't like Little Rock, Arkansas need a NFL team? I mean, just go, man. The Falcons, Lord have mercy.
I can't wait to be a like early sponsor of the Atlanta Pigeons NFL franchise in 10 years.
You don't deserve to be the Atlanta Falcons anymore. I'm going to start the petition. Rename the Falcons. You deserve to be a pigeon.
Yes.
No, for me, since we're talking sports, I just want. I mean, can Georgia get a receiver that can catch the football?
Oh, break the bank.
One small change.
Break
Just
the
get a
bank.
receiver. Georgia did land two good quality receivers from the portal, the transfer portal, and Zachariah Branch and Noah Thomas. Hopefully they can catch. One small change that Georgia fans could make, if y'all could do this for a Little Brothers Know Best podcast, relax.
There you go.
Georgia won the SEC championship with the hardest schedule they've ever had in history. They're limping into the freaking college football playoff, and y'all are like, fire everybody. Relax.
I love it.
All right. Well, we've gone this whole episode and we haven't done one segment of best. And I don't know how that happened. But we're going to have to do it best. So if you want to have a healthier January, my biggest issue, I think, as we have already laid out at the beginning of this podcast, is freaking food. So I need, and I'll be honest, I put this segment in the podcast today for myself. I need y'all's best healthy snacks for January, because like my thing is just snacking. Like I eat reasonably healthy, but dude, I snack all the time. All right, give me some healthy snacks.
Snack attack, man. One of my favorite snacks is beef jerky. But not all beef jerkies. I mean, your gas station beef jerky will do when you're in a bind.
Which gas station beef jerky?
Dude, if somebody says that Jack Link's is beef jerky, I mean, they may see a different side. But
if you say Jack Link's is beef jerky, Daniel's going to get bent out of shape.
Yeah, I'm going to get bent out of shape, and I'm going to break my motto.
One of his mottos this year is to relax.
Because I'm going to give you a dissertation on beef jerky. But Stripling's beef jerky, Stripling's beef jerky is really good. There's some other brands out there. And honestly, you know what, guys? You can make your own beef jerky.
Here we go.
Get really lean beef. Dehydrate it. Season it how you want. The only thing I would recommend is probably, it's like really, it's a lot of salt. So probably, don't just blow the beef jerky market right out of the water. If you have some issues there, but man, beef jerky, so good. Take it anywhere.
And if you want a, fun little project at home, go find Alton Brown's homemade beef jerky recipe.
There you go.
Yeah. You can substitute low sodium soy sauce if you want to lower the salt. But
you know how he makes the beef jerky? Box fans.
Yep.
You can dehydrate. You can make beef jerky with a box fan.
Yep.
That you can buy for $20. The best beef jerky, by the way, gas station or otherwise, is Old Trapper. If you ever find Old Trapper beef jerky, it's going to cost you probably the price of a semester of your kid's college tuition to buy this beef jerky. It is literally like every time I buy it, I'm like, dude, this is the most expensive beef jerky I've ever seen in my life. But Old Trapper beef jerky is incredible.
The markup on beef jerky is outrageous.
Yeah. All right, beef jerky. What else, Daniel? You're
I got pistachios. Man, I love pistachios. One of the things I love about pistachios, get them in the shells so it takes you longer to eat them, so you don't eat as many. Okay? And sometimes you might break your fingernail trying to break that shell, but, get a little assistance. You got to know which ones you can open and which ones you can't. But I also love cottage cheese with fruit. That's really good.
Can I tell you about cottage cheese? Here's a pro tip for cottage cheese. Put cottage cheese about depending on how many, like if you're going to scramble eggs in the morning, scramble some eggs and put cottage cheese in the eggs while you're cooking it.
Yep.
And you keep all the protein and the nutrition from the cottage cheese. It actually makes your eggs fluffier, but you lose the actual like cottage cheese taste and texture, if that's the thing for you.
Very interesting.
Yep.
I got a couple.
Go for
it. One is a small handful of almonds. Not a ton. Don't ever do it. But did you know that almonds, there are studies that show that almonds have the same effect as cholesterol meds for lowering fat in your blood, like bad fat, bad cholesterol. So handful of almonds a day. For a long time, I would eat 14 almonds every day. Just the magic number for me. But, have some almonds. And then I would say a Cosmic Crisp apple. Some of y'all have given up on apples. You stopped eating apples. You thought an apple a day keeps the doctor away. But the problem is you got to eat an apple. And it's because you're eating those mealy, red, delicious apples that are hit or miss. And sometimes you bite into them and it's like already applesauce fresh off the tree. It's terrible. The Cosmic Crisp apple, guys, I'm telling you, they are crispy. They are sweet. It's like a red, delicious apple with a big bite to it, big crunch. I've been wearing those out. You can find them anywhere. They're actually a new kind of breed. I guess they crossbred two apples and got this Cosmic Crisp, and they just launched it a couple of years ago, and it is phenomenal.
Hey, back to your almonds. Do you do flavored almonds, or you just do raw, unsalted?
No, I do lightly salted. I ate raw almonds for a while. That's the best for you. But I just
health-wise,
yeah. So I do just lightly salted.
You can, I actually might do a batch of these and send them on up to Oregon, Michael, but you can, I have smoked almonds before. I've smoked them when done a little like Cajun seasoning. It does, it adds salt and stuff, but
if you use some salt and butter and like brown sugar and no, I'm just kidding. It's healthy. It's healthy food.
Healthy food. We'll buy these, they're called yogis, and they're basically like probiotic yogurt covered strawberries, and they're like this compressed strawberry, thing. You can find those. Those are super good to keep around.
I love, by the way, the hubris of three guys that look like us offering advice on eating healthy.
I'm telling you, man.
Guys, this is all theoretical.
I'm going to stand
I'm
on
down myself too. I'm down 30 pounds or so.
See? Michael.
We got some advice. It's okay. Yeah,
we're old, fat, and ugly, but we're getting less fat by the day.
Yeah.
Getting older and uglier, but like we're getting a little bit skinnier.
That's fair.
All right. Any parting words before we wrap up this episode?
Will it be another 4 weeks before we release another episode?
Listen, we can give you the top 5 reasons as to why we didn't record an episode. Well, we'll just give you number 1, okay? And we'll just leave it at this. The number 1 reason that it took us 4 weeks to release an episode of Brothers Know Best. Michael wanted to have a Mario Kart tournament instead of recording a podcast.
Hey guys, this is true. This is the fact checker says this is true.
But we will be back next week. In the meantime, take care. Obi.